Hi guys, so today's video is going to be a part 2. I recently did a video talking about some cover changes I didn't really think were the best, and today's video is going to be some cover changes that I think were definitely improvements. I am going to leave out going from a typical edition to a special edition. Anyway, getting into it though, I'm going to start with the one that kind of inspired these videos. It's not like I'm the first person ever to do a video like this, but this particular book, its cover change made me think about some other cover changes that I have either liked or disliked, and that would be The Iron King by Julie Kagawa. Julie Kagawa is an author that, since reading another series of hers, the Shadow of the Fox trilogy, I've really wanted to read more of her works. I wanted to go onto her backlist of books and pick up some of those. And I'd heard really good things about the Iron Fae series, and I was like, oh, okay, well, like, maybe I'll look for it in my local used bookstore. And I found it, and I was like, I don't know that I could hate this cover too much more than I do. It has so many of the things I don't like in covers, but the main thing is the real person's face. Just giant right on the cover, big right there. I really don't like it. If you're gonna have real people on the covers, I don't want like a mystical, foggy look of real close up of their face. I will say that the spines of those look quite nice. They always fool me. I'll see them and I'm like, oh, I like that. I'm like, wait a second, no, I don't. And I'm so shallow that I was like, I heard there's a reprint. I'll wait till the reprint comes out, and it's an anniversary, so it is kind of a special edition, but it's not actually a special edition. It's just kind of a reprint of the covers, and I do think that these new covers are gorgeous. I really like these. I like the consistency. I actually upset some people. I did a video recently kind of reacting to the Rhythm of War cover, and I talked about how it does bother me a little bit, the lack of consistency with where certain text is on the covers, and that like really got people mad. But I'm not sorry. I like when covers are consistent. I like when there's consistency on the spine. I like if a title is vertical, then I want them to always be vertical. If the logo is at the top on one, then the sequel, I don't want the publishing house's logo to be on the bottom. I like consistency, and these have it. They have consistency, which I like, but they're different enough from cover to cover where they feel varied. I like the differences in the colors. I like the focus of the little details being different. I just think that these new covers, not only is it an improvement, but I like them a lot. Next up would be Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan. I think that the older Wheel of Time covers, they're just kind of the more typical classic fantasy look, and I'm not the biggest fan of that. I know some people love it, and I know that some people they like the art style, they like the feel of it, and that's great. So you might disagree, and if you do, let me know. I am super excited to see how different opinions are, especially about something like covers, because obviously tastes are so different from one person to the next. But while I don't think that the newer covers, they're still not my absolute favorites, they look real nice. They look real nice and crisp when they're all together. I like the height of them, of all things. I like the muted colors, and if they're gonna depict a scene from the book, I like these far more than the original ones, which are a little more cartoonish. And these ones, if you're gonna have realistic looking people on the covers, I just don't want them to be real people. I don't mind realistic. So I think the artwork is really nice. I think I just like the art style a little bit more. I like that muted look. I like when the colors are maybe not as intense as they are on the older ones. But I will say, if you're a Wheel of Time fan, I'm still waiting for the real nice editions. I feel like those are yet to come. I've seen some really intense special editions, and even those I don't really think are that amazing. So if you're a Wheel of Time fan, I feel for you, because I still feel like we haven't gotten the best covers that they could have. Next up is a cover change that I didn't actually dislike the old covers. In fact, I kind of liked them. I feel like they were bold, but they attracted your eye without being obnoxious. I think they sort of did a good job of getting the point across, and that would be the Lunar Chronicles. The older covers, to me, they did say, especially the first one, Cinder, it said, this is a fairy tale retelling, but sci-fi. I think they did a great job of that, and like I said, they were bold. They combined colors I wouldn't have thought I would have liked, but I thought they worked. And the cover changes are a lot busier. The art style, I think it definitely is a very specific art style that might not be to everyone's taste. And the fact that they're a little more chaotic might not be to everybody's liking, but I think I might like them a little bit more. I go back and forth because I don't hate the old covers, but I do think the old covers are maybe a little bit more of their time, like a product of their time, because you do see a fair amount of covers like that. In fact, I feel like I have seen other covers that are of a person's shoe. So I think that they did the job of, look, it's a Cinderella retelling for the first one, but sci-fi, I think they did a good job of that in the first one, but also it's not the most unique way to portray a retelling, because I have seen a similar image in other retellings for Cinderella, whereas the new ones, they're just their own thing, and I like that they're owning it. It is, I think, more of a specific style, but I like them more. Next ones are both by V.E. Schwab. I'm going to start with This Savage Song and Our Dark Duet, and originally, because I did enjoy these, I got this duology in the UK editions because I just thought the UK editions were better looking than the US ones. The US ones were okay. They were just not, they just, I didn't look at them and think like, wow, what a beautiful cover. So they were fine, but again, they just didn't capture me and my attention. And then the new reprint that has come out is really nice. I like the colors. The colors are very different from what I have seen in the past. So I like the reprints quite a bit. The other one, and this one is actually probably going to be one I anticipate some of you will disagree, but that would be Vicious. I didn't hate the old cover of Vicious. In fact, when they got a cover change, I was a little bummed because I kind of liked the old cover, but I do think that for consistency, weirdly, the old Vicious cover reminds me a little of the new Lunar Chronicles covers, and I think it's cool, I think it's ominous, but it looks too much like a villain. Not too much, there's nothing wrong with it, but the reason I think that the new ones maybe work a little bit more is that the old ones, that old one has this kind of like, I'm a bad guy looking out across at this empire that I wish to have, and it has that look to it. And while the story is about anti-heroes slash villains, I don't think they're those kinds of villains necessarily. I think that they're more understated and behind the scenes, so I kind of feel like that's represented better in the newer ones. This next one, I actually don't dislike the old cover at all, but I do think that the newer cover maybe pulls the eye in a little bit more. The colors are pretty, they're basic, but they draw your attention. They catch your eye. I think the placement of things catches your eye a lot more, and that would be Rage of Dragons. The old cover is cool, I think. I like the old cover, but the new one, it's just basically what I said. I think that when you're walking along to see a cover with some people and it's kind of a darker look and then there's a dragon, I think that maybe you're used to it with adult fantasy, but the newer one, I think it's kind of intriguing and you're wondering, well, what's this? And I think it kind of makes you want to pick it up and find out more about it. However, I think the image itself I like more on the old one. I just think as a cover, the other one is a better cover, except it looks like a football. It looks like a football to me, and every time I see it, I'm like, I know it's not a football, but it looks like a football. But otherwise, I do think it does a better job of grabbing your attention, even if weirdly, I like the image, the old image better. The last one, I would love to know if anybody likes the old one better, and that would be Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. So this one, again, it just looks like an old young adult cover as far as like it's got the person on the cover, like the really pretty girl, but she's got like a dagger on her arm and things like that. It just is kind of cheesy. And the girl looks kind of like Sarah J. Maas, which is a little weird too. Regardless of if it looked like the author or not, that's just, in my opinion, not the greatest cover. And I kind of liked the new ones in that I don't mind people on the covers when it's got a clear style, which I feel like those ones did. And I thought it was kind of cool that the cover was always her being like awesome and the back was her like in some fancy dress or whatever. I thought that was kind of a cool touch. I thought the colors were great until the last one, which is not great in my opinion, but I actually thought the covers looked pretty cool. They are also, I think, a product of their time, because I think we're going to look back and notice that a lot of covers have that kind of a look. But I was okay with it. I don't hate those Throne of Glass covers, except for the last one. As I said, I'm not a fan of that gold. But otherwise, I think that not only was it a huge improvement, but I don't mind those covers. I think they're all right. That's it for some covers that I think were definitely a lot better the next time around. Let me know what some of your favorite cover changes have been, and I'll see you guys later.